Hey guys, what is up? Mr. Code Shorts here. Today we're going to be looking at another data storage type in Python, specifically tuples. So, probably wondering what a tuple is. If you have watched my video on lists, which I would highly recommend that you go back and watch if you haven't already, a tuple is very similar to a list in that it is a ordered array of uh, pieces of data. So, of course, you can say, I want just the first one or just the last one, or I want these specific few in the middle, or something like that. Although, unlike lists in Python, tuples are not changeable. And basically, what this means is that if I wanted to, in a list, I could say, okay, change value 1 from cookies to cake. And if I asked it for the list, it would tell me cake instead of cookies where it was. Now, tuples, that cannot be done. Whatever is put in them by the programmer has to stay in them. In this case, cookies, cake, 11, 5.00, and true for this tuple 1 must be what is in the tuple, and it cannot be expanded or contracted or things deleted or changed or whatever. It has to stay the same. That's why if I go ahead and run this program, which will print out the tuple and a couple of different examples of it, we'll see that whenever the main tuple itself is printed, I get cookies, cake, 11, 5.0, and true. If you'll notice, it did round off the 5.00. Then I had it print tuple 1. Again, because the tuples are ordered, you can call out specific places from a tuple. So I had tuple 1 at the position of 0. Like lists, you count from 0 instead of counting from 1 to start with, as far as the indexes go in a tuple. So today, right here, I have cookies. If I went to a -1, I print true. And another common method used on tuples is the length method. This just tells how many items are in the tuple. Alright, so you know how I just went on this whole thing about saying how tuples can't be changed and yada yada yada? Well, they can be. However, you have to do it in a very specific way, and it has to do with converting a tuple to a list and a list back to a tuple. So, what I've done here is I've initiated a new variable called list of tuple and made that equal to list and passed it tuple 1. Basically, what this does is that it creates a list from tuple 1, and because it is now a list, the list can be edited. So, I simply made a list edit here. So, list of tuple position 0 must be pi, and then I converted the list from the original tuple to a new tuple, called it tuple 2, equal to the tuple of the list of tuple. So, once I've done that, when I printed it out, I got pi, cake, 11, 5.0, and true. So there is a way to manipulate tuples. However, what tuples are most commonly used for is really for locking down constants, things that you don't want to change in the program. Say these are settings or just different, say, mathematical values if you're working on some statistics software or something along those lines. So, and then finally, one of the key attributes also of tuples is that you can have a tuple with only one piece of data in it, but it must have a comma behind it as if there were going to be another one. This does sound strange, but it goes back to the whole deal of starting the indexes at 0, and tuples, the way they are written in Python, generally should be more than just one value. So, same deal here, only I'm showing with single underscore tuple 1 that the only one data point must have a comma behind it. So, I printed that out here. We got only one in a tuple, and then I printed the index of 0. So, this has been your in-depth guide on Python tuples. Come back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a brand new Code Shorts video.